He's about 60 pounds. He'd make a good Thanksgiving dinner, I guess. I'm keeping an eye on him, though. I'm keeping him safe.
Thanks, Joe.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
A show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm ready to roll right now, Bo.
Can you believe we're doing this? Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
I'm going to get another excuse for this jackwater.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kurt Realtors, The Griffin Company. Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric. Flight by Yingling and Fayetteville Auto Park. And now, Chuck and Bo.
We don't play that down here, brother. You might get away with that in Washington, but down here in Alabama, we don't play that. We'll send a U-Haul to your ass if you lose to South Carolina. You better stop worrying about last week's game and get your ass focused on the game coming up at Alabama. The honeymoon's over. Wake the hell up. You know what KWB was talking last night, Paul? You know what this is equivalent to, brother? You know what this is equivalent to?
What's that?
This is equivalent to coming home and finding your wife in bed with the neighbor. This is what this is equivalent to, Paul. And I'll say this for this. Me and K-Dub both agree. You could never trust her again. You might stay with her for the kid's sake, but you could never trust the woman again. And the same.
I love college football, man. I mean, I love college football. That was a legend on the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday on the SEC network. And that is, hey, that's college football in a nutshell right there, man.
They're done with Kalen DeBoer already.
Oh,
the misery is high.
I mean, they
Alabama
beat Georgia, and, you know, the guys, we're not going to miss a beat. But now it's like, it's over.
They want to run them out of town.
I heard, he was talking about marriage there. I heard one person say that the honeymoon's over and we're already into the marriage counseling phase. We need counseling bad right now. And, he's, his record speaks for itself. But when you look at what's going on down there right now, he's having a tough week. And here's the thing. If they do lose to South Carolina, somebody probably will send a U-Haul to his house. I mean, that's just kind of how it works.
It's like if I'm angry enough as a fan.
That's right.
Then I can influence the expectations of the athletic director and everybody in the building.
Well, Legend was letting them know that he wasn't going to stand for that. It is amazing what happens when your expectations are not met. When it's your team, and look, we've had it happen here. We all have been a part of it before. It does seem larger than life. I mean, it does seem really, really important. But then when you hear somebody else do it, it's like, wow.
I think it's important. And when we get to a certain point in this show, we'll probably have a segment that takes you around the country, or at least the SEC, to hear how other fans are reacting. Because the misery index or the excitement index changes every week.
It does.
And it's every fan base. It's not just in Arkansas. Alabama's had tradition of late, but we call Nick Saban the GOAT in college football. We call him the guy that's the best that's ever lived coaching this game of college football. And he got so done with it, he left. And now all the Alabama fans are comparing their situation now to the situation they had. The truth is, you don't know what Saban would be in today's world. Still a great coach. But in today's world, it's different than it was a year ago, 2 years ago. And how you coach in this environment and how you work in the transfer portal and how you deal with NIL, all of this stuff is going to play a role. What's fascinating, from 1 week, a week ago to this week, last week it was all about, in the last 2 weeks have been about NIL and raising money, and you can't compete if you don't have all these funds, okay? This week, it's, you know what? Do really well in the transfer portal, and hopefully you don't have to worry as much about NIL. And when you do have NIL, you get prima donnas, you get all these guys that are entitled, and you get guys that it's harder than ever to make them work and want it and be a good teammate. And you got to figure out how to blend those two things. But what it does is it changes the middle. It changes let's call it the middle class. The middle class can now compete with the high income. Like Vanderbilt can compete with Alabama on one night because of the transfer portal. If you can manage that, like those guys at Vanderbilt that won that game, they didn't go to Vanderbilt because they promised them big paychecks. They did well in the transfer portal. Wait, where's that quarterback from? New Mexico State? I can't ever tell.
Hey, I'll tell you what else about that kid. He's the one that went into Auburn and beat him in Auburn last year as New Mexico State's quarterback. He is Alabama's quarterback champion.
That was punching his ticket to the SEC.
Yeah, that's what got him to Vanderbilt. You know, this is why Saban left, because he knew that things that happened Saturday were unavoidable. There was no longer going to be a situation where a program like Alabama or a program like Georgia or a program like Michigan or USC or all the traditional powers, he knew the day was past when they would be able to dominate the way they dominated, get everybody they wanted. If they wanted a 5-star or 4-star recruit, they'd recruit his 3-star friend. I mean, they would just do whatever they had to do. They came to Arkansas and recruited players from Arkansas that they knew were never going to play, just to come into Arkansas and take our prospects.
So the last 2 weeks we've been talking about top heavy and all the money and all this, and it does matter. But again, I think this has yet to play out. The haves and the have-nots. Is it going to change? I'm not talking about every year. You know, you can expect a Vanderbilt, Arkansas, you know, teams that haven't traditionally won SEC championships to be at that level. But what's fascinating to me is going to be to watch how this unfolds, and do we get some more parity? And then you add to the playoff. Now you got 12 teams, maybe that expands, and you're creating a little bit more of an NCAA March Madness environment with college football. You're going to get more teams with opportunities to knock teams off, like you saw Arkansas beat Tennessee. And I'm sitting here looking at Texas right in the eyes. I'm looking right into the eyes of Texas, because Texas is sitting up here at the top, and they're the king of college football right now. They're number one, and I will be stunned if they're able to navigate this schedule without 2 losses.
I would agree with that.
I mean, this schedule,
I would agree
and
with
playing
that.
in this league is becoming as difficult because of the transfer portal as it's ever been. I mean, and it's like Marty Smith tweeted over the weekend. We mentioned it yesterday. College football is inebriated. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen week to week. You don't know how big NIL teams and their guys are going to respond when they get frustrated and have adversity. And you're going to face some adversity. The thing we talked about in the offseason about Arkansas that I think we're seeing play out now is their first 22, 11 on both sides of the ball. Their first team can compete with anyone. They got to figure it out. They got to get it all together. But from a talent perspective, they can compete. And you saw that when you don't turn the ball over. You saw them do that on Saturday. Nobody really gave them a chance. They had an 18% chance in the football power index to win that game on Saturday night.
I hate the football power index. No, I mean, I do. I mean, it's what?
Well, tell us how you feel about it.
What does that mean? I mean, what does that mean?
Well, it means a couple of scientists who really enjoy football put their skills to use. Their math, their intuition, not their instincts,
I'm still not sold.
Their math.
But yeah, I mean, that's
but football's more than math.
It's not automatic.
It's
what
more
I'm
than
saying.
math.
If it's like 82-18,
it gives
you're
you
telling me
something,
there's a chance.
It gives you something to react to.
So what was Vanderbilt's chance?
Less than that.
Okay.
Less than that. But here's the Arkansas again, and I think this is going to be true of most teams in this league as you move forward. Your first 11 on both sides of the ball are going to have a chance. Do you stay healthy? How do they come together as a team? Arkansas has still been looking for their identity. I think they began to find that identity, and it really showed against Tennessee. It's going to be interesting to see what they do coming out of the bye week. But you said it after hearing that call. I love college football. I was concerned that this was all going to ruin college football, and maybe it will to some extent. maybe it just becomes interesting in another way, though.
Well, part of it is, I mean, it's I think it's becoming more and more like the NFL in that every week there's going to be a game or two that you look at and go, how did that happen? You know, you can have a team that wins a division in the NFL, but they're still over the course of 17 weeks, they're going to lay 3 or 4 eggs. And I mean, just lay eggs. But they're still one of the better teams and sometimes the best teams standing at the end. And I think we'll see that in college football too.
I want to hear how people feel today. And I want to set it up for you like this. Do you ever talk politics, Chuck, with anybody, your friends, you know, your family?
Not anymore.
I don't either. I don't
anymore.
Here's why I don't talk politics with people. Because people already know how they feel. Like the idea that somebody's changing their mind between now and the election on how they're going to vote is just laughable to me. Like, no, you're not changing my mind. I'm not changing your mind, and nobody else is. What you're looking for is confirmation of your feelings. You're not sitting there going, you know, tell me more about the issues so I can figure out how I'm going to vote this year. It's just not happening. So you get this giant, you know, social media firestorm, but it's not changing anybody's mind. Are you changing your mind at all about this football team? Has anything changed for you from the offseason through the first 5 games, through the first 6 games now? Has anything changed?
I think that's a good question.
That's what I want to know today. Just tell me, did it confirm something or did it change anything for you?
I think,
or do you still believe whatever you believed, even if the record looks better than you thought it was going to be?
I don't know about the people you hang with, but the people that I hang with, I
want to hear about the people you hang with.
I don't think anybody's mind's been changed.
That's another show.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's mind's been changed. And I think
I think
it's just indicative of where we are in society.
The difference between my question today about that and politics is going into the election, you can all, you know, you're not changing anybody's mind, but maybe after somebody gets in office and whatever, you know, not just the presidential office, but any office, maybe results change your mind, right? Like, oh, this plays out. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But now you've seen 6 games. Like, I don't think we could really change people's minds in the off season, what they thought going into it. But now that you've seen half the season play out, can you believe that? Half the season's already played out. What are your thoughts now? 877-377-6963. By the way, you get a couple of headlines.
Chiefs won.
Like, it's just,
they're just better.
I heard somebody say, I'm just tired of the Chiefs.
I kind of am too.
Can you just stop being
Can
so
I just
good?
say that?
Can you just stop?
I'm tired of
every game?
When are the Cowboys going to be like America's team again? When's it going to happen?
They're not. The Chiefs are America's team.
I know that.
Taylor Swift told us that.
I know.
And her boyfriend had 9 catches for 70 yards last night.
And she was happy.
Mahomes went for 330.
But
hit
her backup
70 yards.
One of her backup
seven
dancer's
catches.
brother got an interception.
Did I have it backwards? Was it 7 catches, 90 yards? I don't know.
You checking with the pop culture table?
No, they're fact checking me over there.
I got you.
Whatever. I
was focused on her outfit. But I mean, it's just me.
Kelsey had a run and a lateral in the game.
Yeah.
I saw almost none of it. I was at bed at halftime.
I saw very little of it. I will say though, I watched some of the Royals and the Yankees. That was a good game.
Listen,
did you watch that, Bart?
I did. Yeah, I did. I mean, I had a 2-box going. I had Royals 4, Yankees 2.
Multi-view.
I had
YouTube
TV. I had the Royals Yankees game in one box and the NFL game in the other box.
By the way,
it was great.
Every time I've reached YouTube TV, I sent them an invoice.
Yeah,
they sent me a note back. They said, send us every time you mention us, and we'll send you a free hot dog.
Okay.
So that's
a lot of hot dogs.
A hot dog for you.
Great.
A lot of hot dogs.
Well, love a good hot dog.
The Chiefs now have had, listen to this ridiculous stat. The Chiefs have now had a winning streak of at least 5 games in each of Andy Reid's 12 seasons as their head coach.
When are we going to start seriously talking about Andy Reid as the GOAT? When's all this Belichick conversation going to go away and Andy Reid replaces him?
People think Belichick's the GOAT for different reasons.
I understand that.
616, the Chuck and Bo Show. We'll take some calls when we come back. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think that having Brian, allowing him to call in occasionally, is a healthy reminder of why you don't like Texas.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
We are possibly entering what could be a golden age in Razorback athletics.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The Henry family laid the foundation for sports media in this state, and that foundation still stands strong to this day. The Greater Fort Smith Association of Home Builders knows a thing or two about a good foundation, and they're proud to sponsor Clay Henry's latest column. Be sure to check out the Parade of Homes happening on October 4th through the 6th and 11th through the 13th from noon to 5 daily. Don't miss Clay's columns every week, only on hitthatline.com.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock. Order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro.
Long situations just because of the noise tonight.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Sportsman's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym, and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more.
I think maybe they'll unite the state a little bit and saying, hey, this is our guys. Let's go back and like they did tonight. I'll be honest with you, most states have been doing that anyhow. I think it's more for the states to do that than our team, because our teams believe that we can beat anybody in the country if we just have the same amount of times as we have the ball. I do think it's a big deal, though, and the kids will really have a good time tonight.
Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind. All services
I think it's going to do more. I think
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on
it's going to do more
ESPN
for the state who was veering over here. Hey, they're going to fire the coach.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Back to Save Sports Radio.
Good morning. Chevy Chase is 81 years old today, by the way, so happy birthday to him. I can't really get my brain around Chevy Chase being anything but, 35 with a couple of kids and driving around the country, just getting into all kind of vacation issues. Sam Pittman, after the game, on the fan base?
I think it's going to do more for the state who was veering over here. Hey, they're going to fire the coach. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. When the hell are we getting this guy out of here? All that stuff. I think maybe it'll unite the state a little bit and saying, hey, this is our guys. Let's go back them like they did tonight. I'll be honest with you, most states have been doing that anyhow. I think it's more for the state to do that than our team, because our teams believe that we can beat anybody in the country if we just have the same amount of times we have the ball.
So our question is, has anything changed for you after the upset of Tennessee or a 4-2 start? Has it confirmed things for you? Has it changed anything for you? 877-377-6963. It's Tuesday after a big win.
It's hard to change people's minds. That's
like what we talked about.
It is
politics.
hard to change people's minds once their mind is made up. And if things go well, they'll say, yeah, but. If things go bad, they say, see, I told you so. And that's just kind of how it goes. You played that cut from the Alabama guy a little bit early, which was really funny. But that's all that it is. I mean, that's all that it is. It's just entertainment.
That's what politics have become.
I know.
That's right.
I know.
If somebody pulls you aside and says, Chuck, give me 2 minutes to let me convince you of my beliefs.
Well,
what do you do?
I turn and walk away. I mean,
same. I immediately go into like deep depression.
I'm
like,
just gone.
Please stop. Get me out of here.
I'm out when that discussion comes up.
877-377-6963.
Smack Daddy is in Greenwood. Smack Daddy, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
What's up, Bald Brotherhood?
How's it going, man?
Here we are.
Yeah.
Just heading on to work. Just wanted to chime in here and let you guys know that my thoughts about the season haven't really changed from the beginning. At this point, I thought we would be 4-2. I did think it would be Texas A&M that we had beat instead of Tennessee, which kind of makes me mad that we won Saturday night, because then all the should-haves start to fill into your head. We should have beat Oklahoma State. We should have beat Texas A&M. We should have been in the top 10 by now because of beating all those teams and being 6-0. But it also makes me scared, because I want to have that glimmer of hope for the rest of the season that this might be a chance for us to go 4-2 or 5-1 the rest of the way. We're not beating Texas. But I hate
people said the same thing
that
about the Tennessee game.
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
Texas
but well,
was a whole different ball game than Tennessee.
How?
Do with that?
How?
I think they just look more complete than Tennessee. Tennessee hadn't played anybody.
Who has Texas beaten?
Oklahoma.
I'm anxious to see Texas play Oklahoma and compare it to the way Tennessee played Oklahoma.
I was going to say that might change my mind about how gettable Texas is, but it just, I want to have that hope, but I also, for so many years, we've had Arkansas, and it's defeating to not be able to be excited about a win like we got against Tennessee because of what we've seen in the past, and we almost know what's going to happen. But congratulations to them Saturday. I'm glad they pulled it out, and hopefully they make me eat crow for the rest of the season, and we go 5-1, 4-2, 6-0, whatever we got to do. But you guys have a great show, and I'll keep listening.
All right.
Hey, thanks. And I want you to keep listening for a second, because I want to give something to you real quick. Colorado State, Michigan, San Antonio, Louisiana Monroe, Mississippi State. Which one of those wins is really impressive to you? And it's a rhetorical question. And whose schedule did I just give you? The other orange team.
I believe that would be Texas, Bo.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they're not any good, but we also talked about Tennessee coming in. This idea, I just don't think, we talked about top heavy, and that's starting to go away. And I don't know, is there a dominant team in college football? Is there a dominant team?
I think it's way too early to know that.
And we're halfway through the season.
We're right. That's my point. I mean, you're not dominant until you've done it for the bulk of the season.
or against teams that also appear to be
right.
that.
And look, I think Texas is good, but I think there are a lot of other teams out there that are good. And I don't think Texas is immune from what we saw over the weekend. What happened to Tennessee and what happened to Alabama. I don't think Texas is immune from that.
Do you think Tennessee's not as good as we thought they were?
No, here's what I think about Tennessee. Here's what I think about Tennessee, and this is what I think about Texas too. There's going to be a situation where you're going to go play somebody at night, and the place is going to be packed, and maybe for the first time in a while, they pull everything off correctly from the time you get out of your car until the time you go home, kind of like Arkansas did on Saturday night. Everything's big time. You're going to walk into that environment with a redshirt freshman quarterback. In some cases, maybe not every time Texas plays, but I'm talking about Arch. And you're going to walk into a situation like what Tennessee walked into the other night. And all of a sudden, there's going to be pressure that's not been there before. And the other team's going to score first. And the crowd's going to get into it. And all of a sudden, you're behind. And you've not been behind before. I thought all those things happened to Tennessee on Saturday night. And I think it made them mortal. That's going to happen to Texas. Now, Texas may be good enough, they may be good enough to overcome that. I don't know. But they're going to face that moment this year.
Here's what encouraged me about Arkansas in the Tennessee game. They put together a game plan, and they were able to execute the game plan, and they were talented enough to pull it off against a talented team. Not every year are you in that situation. You have had years at Arkansas where no matter how good the game plan is, you're not going to have enough talent to be able to execute at a high enough level to compete with the talent on the other side. Every week, teams are game planning based on what they've learned from the season about their opponent and themselves. And what we saw on Saturday was Arkansas knowing who they were, what they could do, and the kind of scheme on both sides of the ball that would beat Tennessee. And then they were able to pull it off because they have enough ability. If that's not encouraging about the rest of your season, I don't know what possibly could be. That's what you want out of a football team.
I think the thing they've done really well this year, and by they, I mean the coaching staff, is assemble a team. And I think we're beginning to see them come together as a team and round into form as a team and play for each other and do all the cliche things that great teams do. One of the things I always respected about Calipari when he was at Kentucky coaching basketball, there was the ability to assemble a team. Putting together a roster and assembling a team are two very different things. And I think Arkansas's football team this year is just that. And they've been fortunate. You're right. They planned. In the defensive case, they changed their plan. They did some things differently. And that is encouraging. And you should be encouraged by that. And every game out there, to me, remains a winnable game. Now, is Arkansas going to be favored in all of them? Probably not. I guarantee you, though, if they beat LSU, they're going to be favored more than you think.
What are your thoughts? 877-377-6963. We're responding to the state of college football. Arkansas is now in the middle of this conversation because they're 4-2. And they're in the top 5 of the SEC record-wise at the moment.
You know what I did last night? I looked at the bowl schedule. First time I've done that in a while.
Did you see Arkansas a bowl projected team?
I am. I did. I just was looking at the bowl games with, the dates, comparing them to the basketball games.
Things have changed
where they
for you.
might. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I've not done that in a couple of years.
That? Let's get into that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that and possible opponents. I've got a possible opponent circled for Arkansas in a bowl game.
All right.
That could be interesting.
Let's just dream. I'll dream with you.
Man, I don't know if you can tell. I feel great this morning.
Good.
Yeah. I think it's that sweating them edge is kicking in.
Okay.
Got some treatment last week.
I know you did. I did too.
It's about where it should be, kicking in.
I was a lot further behind than you at the start.
I got my dauber up.
I got you. Well, you don't want to get your dauber down. That's the last thing you want.
It's the Chuck and Bo Show, 6:30. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show,
Guys, first and foremost, congratulations on the official launch of the Chuck and Bo Show. I want to know, how did you guys decide which name went first, Chuck or Bo? Was that a flip a coin?
Man, I've got some good news. Sweatinum Cosmetic is not just for females. Turns out us guys want to look and feel good too. Why be tired, lethargic, and overweight when we don't have to be? Sure, diet and exercise matter, but there can also be a lot more going on. For example, low testosterone is a real thing among many adult males, not just the old guys. I've heard about the weight loss shots and the low T ads before, and I've been skeptical. But then I stopped by my friend's office, Dr. Jeff Sweatinum. He showed me around that first-class facility and said, here's what we're doing for guys. It's called the Sweatinum Edge. You make an appointment, get a free evaluation covering 4 potential issues: hormones, weight loss, hair loss, and skin. Find out where you are and decide if treatment is right for you. Log on to sweatinumcosmetic.com, sweatinumcosmetic.com, and click on the Sweatinum Edge or call 479-966-4174 and tell them you heard about the Sweatinum Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I like craft beer. I do. You guys always think I'm like the biggest dork on the face of the earth.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
October is Slingshot Month at Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith. We have a great selection of new Polaris Slingshots in stock, some with financing available as low as 1.99% for 36 months and 0 down payment with approved credit. Fall is the perfect time to get out and see the natural state in the new Slingshot from Wheeler Power Sports. Serving all over Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets? Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys? Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based grams.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
Ty Richardson live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. Galen, 50 years.
This will be our 50th year in business. A lot of customers get us confused as only a rental place where they rent for proms and weddings, but we've classically been the men's store in Fort Smith, Arkansas. We try to be a little different. You can come in and look different at Rainwater's.
When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you.
Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, where it's fun to look good.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, 16 years in the industry.
How do people see what you've made over the years, Cecil?
Google, Yahoo it, or Bing it. Jazzco Graphics Design, JAAZCO, Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And sometimes I'm here after. So if that open sign is on, I'm here. Y'all come on in. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily Sandwich Shop. If you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My Papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see them at the Bakery District today.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. And now, Chuck and Bo.
6:37. Good morning. Before we dive back in here, I mentioned earlier the Chiefs 26-20 or 26-13 win last night. 5-game winning streak for the Chiefs. They've had a 5-game winning streak every year that Andy Reid's been the coach there. 12 seasons. That's just a remarkable stat. And I called the Chiefs, rightfully so, America's team. They're America's team right now. And Troy took exception to that. And he texted in, the Chiefs aren't America's team and never will be. What they are is the team with the most bandwagon fans right now. Half the Chiefs fans were cheering for another team just 5 years ago. Troy, that is the definition of being America's team, when people are just jumping on the bandwagon, when they are clamoring for the bandwagon. Thank you for proving my point. That's exactly why they're America's team.
Troy and I live in a different America than you, Bo. We live in an America where real heroes like Roger Staubach direct our team, not pop culture icons. Real American heroes. Where guys like Tom Landry, they're not wearing like XX windsuits over there on the sideline. They're wearing a suit and a tie, a hat. Because it's important, because they're at work and you dress up when you go to work. That's the America Troy lives in. And
you and Troy.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying to guys like me and Troy, the Cowboys will always be America's team.
And Chuck, that's a platform you can run on. That is a platform you can run on, my friend.
Oh, my God.
Eddie in Clarksville, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to the most passionate fan base in the country. Well, I got something to put in your coffee this morning. You know, I can see a new horizon for a football program, our coaches, and our fan base. And let me define new horizon for you this morning. It's not only setting the reset button, but it's starting over again and expanding one view of life and looking for new goals and challenges to conquer one's opponent on game day. Now, the spiritual meaning of New Horizon is simply discovering possibility, purpose, and potential. I think our football program and our players are discovering their potential. And you know what, more importantly, the game accomplished Saturday, besides proving if we don't beat ourselves, this team can play and beat anybody in the country. Let me say this and get my juices flowing. This morning, I went to some music icons.
Oh, boy.
And the first song I cranked up, I went to the Rolling Stones. And this is the purpose behind this song, because it embraces new journey. Start me up. Start me up, baby.
Like it.
Crank it up. And then I went to Earl Smith, icon, legend. And there's a reason behind this. You know, just like how you felt when you walked down that stadium Saturday. Woo! Not only did you feel like you were walking on the sun, but it was sweet emotion. Crank that up too, baby.
Yeah.
And then I went to Guns N' Roses. There's a meaning behind this song. Let me tell you this. Sweet child of mine. Because it embraces childhood memories. And if you were in attendance Saturday, you're going to remember this game in your heart forever. And what more importantly did it do? It sold real estate in the hot pound. Somewhere in America, there's a recruit watching. And I'm telling them, jump aboard. You just see aboard, baby. And I'm telling you this, I got a new slogan. I've had many over the decades. You know, the Wu Pig Suey is born in America, baby. Get it printed up.
Eddie, thank you. More like Aristotle this morning, but
yeah, which is the
started
best
off
of the
with
group?
Yeah, what'd you pick?
He went G and R.
Yeah. Can't believe you just rolled through
the Rolling
Sweet
Stones
Emotion
and Aerosmith. You just bypassed them for
bypassed
Guns N'
Start Me
Roses.
Up.
Wow.
This song has one of the best guitar solos.
Look at Barney's got a smile on his face, and he's telling us about guitar solos.
Oh,
now.
yeah. Like Aerosmith
Yeah.
never had a good guitar solo.
I didn't say they didn't.
Did I mention that Bart's only with us a short time before he leaves for MTV?
That's right. They're bringing back music
VH1.
on MTV.
Yeah. Bart's going to be a VH1 host. It's called Guitar
What a time
Solos.
to be alive.
Guitar Solos with Bart Pullman.
Do you think Eddie works on this the night before, or do you think he gets up and just goes with it? What do you think?
That's a great question. It really is. I don't know. I think maybe it's an all-nighter.
I could see where he
think it's an
probably
all-nighter
has an
affair.
idea. So it's like a piece of clay.
Sleeps on it.
He's got an idea.
A piece of clay. I like that.
But then he begins to mold it,
I like
the
that.
next
That's
morning when
good.
he when
That's
he gets
good.
up.
That's
So,
good.
I mean, Eddie's an artist.
That he is. And you know what he is? Prepared. He comes prepared.
Yeah, he does.
He mentioned recruiting, Chuck. I heard people say this after the game, and I saw where some recruit after the game said, a junior receiver said it was very lit.
Yeah,
the atmosphere, and he wasn't wrong about that.
It was lit.
But recruiting isn't what it used to be. And I actually am a bit concerned for high school recruits because you're now being considered along with the transfer portal. But it's just different. Like you still have to have incoming freshmen, but it's not like it used to be at all. I mean, you were signing 20 plus kids a year most years. And now if you have deficiencies in your team, you got to go immediately replace them, and as Mike Gundy called it, free agency.
It's almost, Bo, like the group of 5 conference schools have become like the feeder league for the Power 4
That's
conferences. Right. It's like minor league baseball to major league baseball type of situation where
like JUCO. It's like JUCO.
And I think that's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, it's almost like
the top of the line freshmen are still going to go to Power 5 schools, but some of the ones who may have in the past gone to, say, an Alabama or an Arkansas or an Oklahoma or whoever might end up at, Coastal Carolina or Southern Miss or someplace like that for a year or two and then take the leap.
Here's the thing that I worry about for high school kids is I worry sometimes that they become commitments to programs, and then the season plays out. The team needs something in a particular area that they didn't think they were going to need when the season started, and that scholarship ends up going to a transfer portal guy. And I know that happens. And it's changed recruiting from a fan perspective. I mean, you just want your team to be good, and lots of times if that's going to happen, you got to raid the portal. But for high school kids, it certainly has changed.
So
everything.
then you tell Johnny, hey, we need you to go to New Mexico State for a year or two, and then we're going to come get you.
Yeah, or we need you to come in and we'll do this for you initially, and maybe you can work into something else. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Have your thoughts changed on the season? We've got it up as a poll question today.
What are the early results, Bart? What does the early voting say?
We're going to the newsroom here. Early exit poll. Exit polls.
Can I make a quick adjustment to our newsroom? I was thinking about it's the situation room.
Okay, that's great.
We're going to the situation.
Wolf.
Room. Yeah.
I can't do a wolf flip.
Well, I don't need it to be that kind of. I just need it's a situation.
Okay.
Like just like the newsroom was.
Situations change.
It's the
situational.
The early exit polls showing 75% of responders saying yes, that Arkansas's win over Tennessee has changed how they feel about this season.
Wow. And if you get a call later today and it says spam, it's not. It's Bart calling to get your part of the survey involved with the Chuck and Bo Show. 646. More of your thoughts coming up.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rick's in Fayetteville. Rick, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a privilege to talk with you guys, and I love the Razorbacks.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Think better. Member FDIC.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation.
I'm a happier than pig eating shit.
Brought to you by.
What does a victory over Texas do for you and your club now? I'm a happier than pig eating shit.
We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to any customer. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013, with popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA. There's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thank you all for your show. It's a great format in the morning. It's really nice to have knowledgeable people to wake up to and listen to. So thank you all.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Ty Richardson live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. I'm here with my friend Gail Rainwater. One of the many things you guys offer is tuxedo rental.
Yes, we do a great business of renting for weddings and proms. What sets us apart from most other places that rent clothing, you get to try it on. You come in, we measure you, try it on immediately. And the reason for that is we carry everything in stock. You get to check the fit immediately. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, where it's fun to look good.
Hey, Hawk fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baum-Walker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based grams.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. And now, Chuck and Bo.
877-377-6963 is the numbers. Go to Cersei. David is on the line. David, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, guys. I got a little bit of a croup. I sound a little funny, but it won't get my dauber down, Bo.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Keep it up.
Hey, I'd just like to say that following Eddie is like the end of the movie. You're being relegated to a key grip or a makeup artist, and the show has ended. But let me tell you, I'm just proud to be in the show, man. Proud to be in the show. Listen, I've been a Pittman man since his very first press conference, and I was ridiculed by some of my friends, and they said, "So all you got to do is cry, and you can coach a football team." I said, "No, that's not it." He wants to be our coach as bad as any man I've ever seen, and I will support him until he is fired or he retires. And I have not wavered in that, and I refuse to waver in that. The difference in how I feel after the ball game Saturday, I've seen Otis Kirk, Mike Irwin say, "This team can go 8-4. This team can go 8-4." Well, we got to upset at least one out of the 4 top 10 teams, and I didn't give us an upset in there. But I had us at 3-3 after 6 games. We're 4-2. So how do I feel after this game? Now I'm starting to buy in a little bit to what Coach Pittman is saying. He has told us after this game that if we have the same amount of possessions as the other team, we can beat anybody. And you know what? I'm starting to believe him. I don't know. I'm worried about the Texas game because the difference in Texas and Tennessee is that Texas has a quarterback that can pick you completely apart if you do not pressure him. We can pressure him, maybe. How about that? But, yep, I'm buying into what Coach is saying. This team could go 8-4. I never gave them a chance. It could happen. Yep. I'm not going to be disappointed if they don't, because Pittman will be my man regardless.
Well, Pittman has actually helped himself out tremendously this season. And, Chuck, it's kind of what we talked about going into the year, right? Like, you want to move on. You want to get rid of people. Some folks do. Let it play out. Like, the thing is, you get to watch results and react to them.
Part of it, too, I think, is when you talk about adding new players to your roster, through the portal, you add guys that fans don't know. If it's a high school recruit, you've watched them play. You're excited about him. You can't wait to watch him in a Razorback uniform. If it's a transfer portal guy, it's like, well, who's he? Steven Dix, Cuddy Robinson, all these guys that have played well on the defensive side, we didn't even know who they were. I think that affects the way people look at things, too.
It has changed everything. It has changed what you can be year to year. And as we've said, Arkansas seemingly made some good moves in the offseason. They're 4-2, 655. Good morning.
Chuck. Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. PG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what odd time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever
Whatever,
seen
man.
anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage. My friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I got a good recommendation from a friend. You go to your Google reviews right now, you guys are at 4.9 for First Financial Mortgage.
Yeah, we've got the most Google reviews by any lending company in the River Valley by more than double. We really pride ourselves on those Google reviews, try to make everyone's experience really well, and that way they'll refer us to other people. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon in the middle to upper 70s. Nice and clear tonight. Overnight low in the middle to upper 40s. Wednesday, sunshine, upper 70s to low 80s. And then Thursday, we should see sunny skies. A high right around 80 to 85 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
What's new and what's on sale at Wheeler Power Sports? Many new bikes, quads, and side-by-sides from Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Polaris are arriving weekly. New to the dealership, the Polaris Ranger XD 1500, Kawasaki Ridge with a full cab and HVAC, and the all-new Brute Force 450. Plus, we have rebates and dealer discounts totaling as much as $6,000 off certain side-by-sides. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad. Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baum-Walker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based gram
He means the website, which is shop on Razorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Great point.
It is a good point.
That's a that's what a well-rested Chuck looks like.
Exactly right.
If you sleep a little longer, Bo, you can make some good points.
You wouldn't get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm ready to roll right now, Bo.
Can you believe we're doing this? Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Let's make another excuse for this jackwater.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kurt Realtors, the Griffin Company. Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric. Flight by Yingling and Fayetteville Auto Park. And now, Chuck and Bo.
Has your perspective changed? Have your expectations changed? After 6 games of the football season, we've been talking about that. We welcome you back into hour number 2 of the Chuck and Bo Show. Arkansas 4-2 after that win over Tennessee. And it's been interesting, Bo, to read some of these texts because, and of course, our poll question, has your perspective changed?
The survey is live.
Pittman said after the game, he said, I hope this unites the state. Hope it unites our fan base. Are you among the united? I tend to think perhaps that number has grown. I don't know about percentage-wise, but I think it's grown since Saturday night.
Dave and Branson is not buying in.
I know he's not.
It was a great win, guys, but nothing changes. 6 is still the ceiling. And that's not being negative. That's progress from where we were. So everybody needs to sit back and stop trying to overhype one win. Overhype. They have 4 wins through 6 games. 4 of 6 is pretty good. So we're not talking about 1 win. We're talking about 4. 6 means you got to win 2 of the remaining 6 games. Just 2. So you go 2 and 4 the rest of the way. That's 6.
So Dave's perspective's not changed. Is what it boils down to. Is what it sounds to me like. Dave's still waiting for this thing to crash because he felt like the back half of the schedule was what was going to get him.
Can I just get into this
Please
again?
do.
Like, I just wonder why. I wonder what causes people to go, I'm just not going to get my hopes up. I'm just not going to do it. I refuse. Like, what are you talking about?
Because love hurts, Bo.
Love. The anxiety of what ifs and fear-based living, it's crippling. It's just crippling. You're only hurting yourself.
I think it robs you of enjoyment.
100%.
I think it robs you of enjoyment.
100%.
And look, I can be cynical about a lot of things, and I certainly will admit that. But sometimes, and I do this in my own life, you just rob yourself of all the enjoyment of something. And you look up and you realize, well, why didn't I sit back and enjoy that for a few minutes?
This season, to me, if you're a fan, has already been a success. It's already been a success. You've gotten more enjoyment than probably most expected. Let's just start with 1 win. If you want to talk about the 1 win, that's a lifetime win. That's a memory of a lifetime. 25 years ago, you experienced a similar win. You've had a couple of things happen at Razorback Stadium that were great since then, but you haven't had one quite like that. First time in 25 years. That's if you're a fan and you get a moment like that. By the way, we had you got to be happy with that. We had a call earlier that was talking about the problem with being 4-2 right now is you realize where you could be. You could be ranked in the top 10. You could be 6-0. People could be talking about being in a playoff. Well, yeah, but that's good.
Well,
that's a good thing.
Well, you're doing
nobody
a lot.
Was talking about that in the offseason.
You're assuming that Tennessee would have come in and played the same game against an undefeated Arkansas team. I don't know about that. I don't know. You just don't know if they beat Oklahoma State, if they beat Texas A&M, do they still beat Tennessee? I don't know. I mean, we don't know. That's what makes college football great, unless it's your team that's going through it. But I understand the inclination to say, well, gosh, if we just won those games. But you're assuming everything else would have played out exactly the way it has, and that generally isn't that's just not the way it works.
I would submit to you that Arkansas fans are happier than Alabama fans are this week.
Oh, I think that's right.
I mean, like actual, like where you are as a program, and I think that's silly, but that's their misery index is high.
The world's ending.
Tennessee, same thing. There's a lot of there. If you just go back to how the season started and all the negative feelings that we heard, and you go to where you are now, I don't know how you're not excited. I don't know how you're not overjoyed. I don't know what could you possibly have thought 6 weeks into or 6 games into the season that you would be feeling that would be better than what you're feeling right now? What was I can't wait. Please tell me. What were you thinking before the first game that is now worse than you felt then? 877-377-6963. Ryan's in Hot Springs. Ryan, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
We're actually right where I thought we'd be. I'm one of the 8-4 people. The only difference is I actually thought we would beat Oklahoma State, possibly lose to Auburn, just because some of the bad luck we've had against Auburn. I figured we would be good enough to beat Auburn. I just figured there'd be some way we'd get screwed. I've never gotten over that fear since 2020, so that's kind of what But we're right where I thought we'd be and where we had hoped to be. I'm excited about it, and I got a question for Chuck. I feel like I may be just assuming this, but is Pittman undefeated in night games?
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'll have to ask about that.
Because I know we won the night game against Tennessee in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I think we only got I want to say our only night game in 21 was against Texas. We won that one. I know for a fact our only night game in 2022 was against Ole Miss. We won that one. And I'm pretty sure we only had one last year against, and that was FIU, and we won that one.
Are you talking about just home or both home and away?
No, I'm talking about at Fayetteville.
Oh, okay.
Our crack staff's working on it right now. I actually think night games is in the notes somewhere.
Yeah,
but,
it's a situation room situation.
It's very much a situation.
What I've got right now is that Pittman is 8-7 in night games at Arkansas. That's home and away.
That's just overall. Yeah. All right.
We're efforting.
You know what we call that?
Further information.
You know what we call that? A winning record in night games. We start with that.
Because I mean, if you think about it, if it's the way I think it is, you've got a double whammy coming out of that bye. You've got a night game, and he's undefeated coming out of a bye.
Yeah, that part I am certain of, undefeated coming out of a bye. Thank you, Ryan. It goes to what we talked about. It's how difficult it is to win on the road on Saturday night. It just is. Pick your stadium. It's tough to do. And ours was a tough place for Tennessee on Saturday night, obviously.
By the way, they've announced the LSU kickoff time.
6 bells.
ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Razorback Sports Network on the call as well. Razorbacks 4-2. 2-1 in the SEC. LSU is currently 4-1 and 1-0 in the SEC, and a 3-point underdog at home this week against Ole Miss. The Rebels
I'm going to watch that game.
They haven't won in Death Valley since 2008.
Who you got?
Man, that's a good one.
And, I mean, that's a tough one to pick.
The
Hey, did they lose?
You want LSU to win that game.
Yeah.
You'd rather them,
I agree
win
with
that game
I agree
if
with
you're
that.
Arkansas.
I agree with that.
But you want a hard-fought, just leave all your guts on the field.
I agree.
Kind of game.
Yeah. Was the BYU game a night game? I think it was, wasn't it? All right. They
Are
lost
you
that game.
doing the research live right now?
Yeah.
It's happening now?
I could see the furrowed brow.
What's the ETA on the results of the research?
Give me a minute.
Oh, that's all I need.
Probably less than a minute.
The question was, is he undefeated in night games in Fayetteville?
Right.
So, like,
the answer is no. The answer is no.
You sure?
Yeah, because the BYU game was a night game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was a night. It was okay.
Yeah. What we're trying to find out now is the record. We already know the answer.
That's next level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't just get you the answer.
5-1. 5-1 in night games in Fayetteville.
He was close to right. That's pretty accurate.
The BYU game slipped his mind. And that's
As it should.
No, it's
As it
completely
should.
understandable. But 5-1 at home at night's pretty good. I didn't realize it was that good, to be honest. But it is hard to win on the road at night. And I would imagine, what's his record? 8-7. You said in night games. He's 5-1 at home. So do the math. It's just about the opposite on the road. Man, that's sort of how it works for a lot of people in our league.
877-377-6963. That's the number. We mentioned earlier that Chevy Chase is 81 years old. It's hard to get.
It really hard.
I don't know. These birthdays, like mentioning the birthdays is somewhat depressing at times.
Matt Damon, 54.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
He doesn't look a day over 27.
He was a big star. I guess he's
I only see him in the movies, Bart. I don't know.
About to say.
Bruno Mars, 39.
Bruno Mars. Give me a Bruno Mars song, Chuck.
So that's Saturday night. They're in the spotlight song. Am I right, Bart?
Wow.
Hey.
That's great.
I mean,
I see Nick Cannon's listed on here, too.
Mm-hmm. 44.
Yeah. What? Your mic's not on.
Yeah. You got to turn the mic up.
Yeah. What's happening over there?
There it is.
Bruno Mars.
This is what you were talking about, Chuck?
This is yes.
Did they sing that? What is it? 24.
Michelle Pfeiffer, that white gold. I'm telling you guys. Come on. Give me a break. No. No.
Give me more.
No.
Yes.
But don't think I couldn't.
Let's do it. Come on.
No.
You can do it.
No.
Make my day, Chuck. Come on.
Mad about that
Michelle Pfeiffer in that white gold. 7:13. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's good to hear you back on the radio, man. I missed you in the afternoons, and you guys seem to be gelling right along. So it's good to hear both of you on mornings.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner.
Fayetteville Auto Park, FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with the Woo Big Chili. They don't bleed hog red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bow season is underway, and Jelco Outdoors has all your archery and hunting equipment to help you bag that big buck. Select new compound bows by Bowtech, Elite, and Hoyt. Save $200 off. Beartech crossbow packages, now only $329.99. Save $200 off select Raven crossbows, clothing, boots, tree stands, saddle equipment, feeders, nut grub, and grunt calls. Jelco has it all for you. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
Come celebrate autumn in the natural state with Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Crabtree RV Center is having their big fall sale October 10th through the 13th. There will be special pricing and door prizes along with our experienced, knowledgeable staff to help you pick the perfect RV for your family. Come see why we've been voted the best of the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas. So mark your calendars for October 10th through the 13th and don't miss out on the big fall sale. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief, one more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, Chuck and Bo. Love you, Chuck. Been listening to you dang near all my life calling games. Just certainly excited about y'all's new show. I've listened every morning.
877-377-6963. That is the number that'll get you into the program. Streaming at hitthatline.com. You can follow us on Twitter, X, YouTube, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whole deal. Just search Chuck and Bo Show. 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. Have things changed in your head for the Razorbacks now that they're 6 games into the season and they're 4-2? And, you know, I hear people talk about, well, if we just won this game and we just won that game. That's pretty much every season in football. There's very few teams that actually do go undefeated. A few do, but very few actually pull it off. And I think that's something you deal with every year is you what if yourself to death based on how games turn out. And there's so many close ones you've always got something to choose from.
I don't know how this relates to Arkansas this particular season, but as the playoff expands and probably will continue to expand, it becomes, are you playing your best football at the midway point and beyond? You got to win games. You got to figure out a way to win games and keep yourself in the mix. But the teams that are playing the best at the end of the year and have figured out a way to be in contention, that's what you want. And I think Arkansas played its best game at the midway point. Now, are they going to continue to improve or play at that level? It will determine what their final record is going to be. But to me, that says something about where you are and what you're doing. There's a lot to be said for that.
You know, I've still not decided, honestly, if I really like the fact that you can get hot at the right time and win a college football national championship. To me, that's something that it's been exclusive to baseball. You know, we see it all the time in baseball. You see it on occasion in the NBA. A team will get in and they'll be on a run, and that team will win the championship. Most of the time in the NFL, you know, the cream rises to the top there at the end, and I think it will in college football, but there's still a part of me that thinks every game in the regular season ought to be really, really important. And it still is, but its importance is different now than it once was. I've still got to get my brain around the fact that a team can lose 2 games in the regular season, get hot, and win the national championship. That's going to take a little getting used to for me.
I think there's a difference between games not feeling important or relevant or exciting and what you're saying. And I hope that we don't get to the point that you're driving at, where it could get watered down, where bowl games don't matter at all, where it's either you're in the playoffs or your season was no good. But we're not there today. You know, Alabama fans that game meant a lot to them. We heard, we can play it again later. We heard legend on the SEC network on the Paul Feinbaum show, who's a longtime Alabama fan. And I don't know how you define crazy, but he might fit that bill. That's a long
Capital
time.
letters.
But it's like, hey, man, if you lose this next game, we're going to have a U-Haul at your house, Kalen DeBoer. And Michigan right now is, you know, all these games are important to Michigan fans. Apparently, the Michigan director of high school relations got into it with a fan in Washington. And I haven't seen an announcement from the school, but his bio has been erased from the website. And you see frustrations like this mounting with teams that have had success and aren't necessarily having it this year or when they have these moments. You know, it's interesting to see how other teams and fan bases are reacting and what's happening there, because it reminds you of the world you're living in. It's perspective. And right now, the perspective in Arkansas, to me, is very positive.
Well, I mean, you look at Ryan's question. If they beat LSU, do they crack the top 25? When's the last time we talked about that? And by the way, I think they will crack the top 25 if they beat LSU. But
well, you mentioned earlier bowl games.
Yeah.
You're looking at bowl projections.
I think people are talking about that. I mean, when you're 4-2, it's not unrealistic to talk about going to a bowl.
What are the bowl projections for Arkansas right now?
I've seen Liberty Bowl on one. I've seen Vegas Bowl on another. Maybe those are the ones I've seen.
So I go ahead, Bart.
Yeah, those are the ones from ESPN, the Liberty Bowl.
I think
Las Vegas
on
Bowl.
3 or one of those others has Arkansas going to the Liberty Bowl to play Texas Tech.
I couldn't help but, as I was looking at rankings and just seeing where Arkansas is, whatever it's worth, doesn't really mean anything. But these votes from the Associated Press, that Arkansas is like the 31st.
They would have been
team in the
31st
country.
if the poll had been extended.
But I was going down, and I scanned over Illinois, and I thought, that would be an interesting bowl matchup.
It would be.
Arkansas and Illinois.
That's the sort of game that could happen in a place like Nashville. I think Illinois
Music City Bowl.
Isn't the Big Ten tied into the Music City Bowl?
It is,
because I remember the last time we were there, played Minnesota. That's something that could happen.
Minnesota upset USC over the weekend.
Yes, they did.
USC is hosting Penn State this weekend. James Franklin, at his news conference yesterday, was lamenting the fact that the plane that they have to take, the size of the plane, the fuel, the weight of the plane, the runway in State College isn't big enough. So they're going to have to bus an hour to Harrisburg to fly out, which, by the way, pretty much anybody that flies commercial into State College ends up flying to Harrisburg and driving in. The flight is 5.5 hours, apparently, from Harrisburg to Los Angeles. So a conference game is a 6.5 hour trip, not counting the time it takes you to get off the bus and get into the plane and all that. Bus an hour, fly 5.5 to go play a football game.
Well, then think about the fact you're going to do that to play a baseball game and a volleyball match and a soccer match. You're going to do this in all the sports. It's not just football. And
That's a budget thing too for football to have to do all that.
It's just it defies all logic, because the first thing that I think you've got to think about is that just the cost of the travel, the plane that's going to be required, the size, the fuel capability, all the things as you just talked about, the size of the length of the runway, everything changes when you're making a cross-country flight. 5.5 hours out there. It'll be a little quicker coming back because they'll have a tailwind. But 5.5 hours in an airplane, that's like, it's not quite like flying from Dallas to Hawaii, but if you've ever done that, it's like the worst 8 hours of your life. And 5.5 hours in a plane's a long time. And understand that every university out there right now is cutting everywhere they can cut because of what's coming in terms of having to pay the players and all the things that are going to be coming out of their budget. Every athletic program out there is skimping on a lot of the frills that they enjoyed before. I'm going to tell you, you make a 5.5 hour flight on a no frills airplane, you're not going to be in a very good mood when you get there.
Yeah, that's a 5.5 hour flight where you don't want to hear. We don't have any beverage service on this flight. We don't have any snacks.
I don't know if you
brought your own.
I don't know if you saw. Thank you,
beef jerky.
Thank you, AP, for texting this in. The Miami equipment bus that drove to Cal. The equipment bus always goes out in advance.
Right. That's right.
44 hours. 44 hours. I mean, you're driving a bus. You're driving an 18-wheeler, basically, is what it boils down to.
Truck.
Now, you got to stop and sleep. But 44 hours was the
But
trek.
this is absurd.
People have no earthly idea all that goes into putting on a college football game. And
hope those guys are getting all their classwork done.
Not everybody makes that 120-person cut to get on that plane. And can you imagine? And, I can guarantee you there were a few managers, at least a couple of managers, that had to ride on that equipment bus. It wasn't just the two drivers in all probability. There's generally a manager because they got to set the whole thing up when they get there. And that's, it's just, again, it just defies all logic.
877-377-6963. We'll get some poll results when we come back. I think people's opinion has changed coming out of this one. I don't know why it wouldn't.
I just think what they're talking about, they may say, I don't know, just one game. I don't know. But the fact that they're entertaining the possibility that it might end up a little bit better than they thought it would shows that their opinions change. They may not acknowledge it, but you can read between the lines.
Here's another one. Have your expectations changed?
Well,
is 6 wins not good enough for you? Well, but I'm saying like it's interesting to see how people react to this. It's interesting to me anyhow to hear how fans are like, oh, here we go again. And by the way, that's another topic right there. Like when you're watching Tennessee with the ball with over a minute to play, what was your confidence level that Arkansas was going to finish the game? Could you even bear to watch?
JR's in Shady Grove. JR, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Morning, guys.
Hey, JR.
It's changed. It's changed. And the fact, like you were saying earlier, we don't know what we have on this team. We don't know the personnel that we have on this team. So it has changed. I think, the whole reason that Nick Saban left the Miami job was the very reason that he left when he did last year, is because it's hard to control and motivate people who are making the kind of money that they're making right now. And you basically have to yield some of that. There's so many variables in this, just like, you may not, just like the quarterback in UNLV, he came out and said, whatever wasn't met, expectations, money, whatever. So that's going to be a growing problem that's going on right now. I think it's all going to come down to who can manage the money that they get to pay these players. Is everybody going to be satisfied with the amount of income that they're going to be making for the position they're playing on the field? That's going to drive all this, because if you do like what Arkansas did last year between KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders, you hear all these rumors of the disparaging that went on in the locker room. I think it comes down to managing the money and the people that you have and that you're playing with. So Have a good day.
Yeah, it's definitely a factor now. What's interesting about UNLV is I don't think anybody's going to UNLV for NIL money. I think they're going to UNLV for other reasons. I'm not saying NIL money is not even a thing there, but it's like Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt didn't put their roster together because they had a bunch of NIL money. So the most surprising thing that happened with that quarterback is where did that even come from? Where did that even come from? And he got an agent after he was playing, not on the way in. So you have individuals who can create problems. The higher end programs that are going to operate in a really high level of NIL are going to have the most problems. If you can find an area where you're not having to deal with as much of that and you can go get good players, you have a chance to have results like you have with Arkansas and Tennessee and Vanderbilt and Alabama.
You know, Alabama's got another player that, and he's a good player, Jaheim Otis, defensive lineman that's going into the portal. He's played in 2 games, and he lost his starting job, so he's going to quit and go into the portal. And I'm sure that he will be a very highly sought-after defensive lineman, probably command a great deal of NIL money. But are you getting a good player? Or are you getting somebody else's problem? I think that's one of the things when it comes to talking about teams and you know, as we've discussed, you know, controlling, that's not really the word, managing a locker room, you know, from a coach's perspective. There's just so much more now to deal with.
And to this point, I give Sam Pittman credit for getting guys that are playing for each other.
That's why they're 4-2. That's why they're 4-2. And I know that not beating Oklahoma State just frustrates the hell out of people. And I know not being able to beat Texas A&M does the same thing. But the reason they are 4-2 right now is that they have assembled a team. First, they put together a roster. Then they began assembling a team. And you've got guys who have maybe not been the most sought-after players out there, maybe not the highest paid in terms of NIL, but he's got them. And if you've been in the locker room when you say he's got him, you know what that means. And I've not seen anything that has made me change my opinion on that. In fact, it's been reinforced over and over and over again during the season. That's why I think they're that's one of the reasons I believe they're 4-2. And it's the main reason that I don't believe they're done.
Got to take a break. We'll get to your calls coming up. So if you're on hold, we're coming to you next. We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank, Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric, the Fayetteville Auto Park, Flight by Yingling, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, and the Sweating 'em Edge.
That's what made Taxi a hit for Harry Chapin, was it was so long, radio DJs loved it, particularly the overnight guys, because it was a 10-minute song.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Man, I've got some good news. Sweating 'em Cosmetic is not just for females. Turns out us guys want to look and feel good too. Why be tired, lethargic, and overweight when we don't have to be? Sure, diet and exercise matter, but there could also be a lot more going on. For example, low testosterone is a real thing among many adult males, not just the old guys. I've heard about the weight loss shots and the low T ads before, and I've been skeptical. But then I stopped by my friend's office, Dr. Jeff Sweatingham. He showed me around that first-class facility and said, here's what we're doing for guys. It's called the Sweating 'em Edge. You make an appointment, get a free evaluation covering 4 potential issues: hormones, weight loss, hair loss, and skin. Find out where you are and decide if treatment is right for you. Log on to sweatingemcosmetic.com, sweatingemcosmetic.com, and click on the Sweating 'em Edge, or call 479-966-4174 and tell them you heard about the Sweating 'em Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Just thinking, what is a Pirates' favorite college football team?
Say it, Bart.
Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Together we stand as tall as the Tower of Old Maid. Our memories are etched in stone like names on Senior Walk, and our blood flows razorback red. For 100 years, we've been hog wild, and today we continue the tradition. We are Arkansas Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
October is Slingshot Month at Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith. We have a great selection of new Polaris Slingshots in stock, some with financing available as low as 1.99% for 36 months and 0 down payment with approved credit. Fall is the perfect time to get out and see the natural state in the new Slingshot from Wheeler Power Sports. Serving all over Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets? Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys? Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral. Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based grams. He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
All you kids, anytime there's any problem, anytime somebody's, well, why don't you get YouTube TV? Well, why don't you get Sling? Why don't you get, I mean, you've always got the answer. Right. You've always got the answer.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bo, how many times have you turned to your kids and go, "Oh, you've always got the answer, don't you?
Oh,
You've always got the
Get
answer."
to speak, they don't stop talking. I don't even get to say that.
They tell you what. Yeah.
How about that, Chuck?
YouTube TV.
How about that, Chuck?
Yeah, how about it? They tell you how to think. 877-377-6963. Ryan is in Batesville. Ryan, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey guys, getting ready to walk into work here. A couple things. Just wanted to mention, talking about the Vanderbilt kid. If you read about that, he actually transferred to Vanderbilt because of his loyalty to his offensive coordinator. Came over from New Mexico State. He was the quarterback that dropped 31 on Auburn last year in their win. Actually turned down a bigger NIL deal to stay with the coordinator, and also transplant here. From Tennessee, so cheering for the Hogs now. So it's a big weekend because Tennessee lost, Vandy won, and Arkansas won.
That is fun. Were you in the goalpost scrum?
No. I was in Arkansas now.
Okay. Oh, I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan, have a good day at work, man.
Jerry Kill is on Vanderbilt staff now. That's a name that if you really follow college football closely, you've heard it.
Minnesota.
He's in Minnesota. He's really regarded as just one of the most knowledgeable football guys out there and a really good coach. He's had health issues, and that's why he's not a head coach now. He kept having seizures, frankly. Yeah. But they hired him at Vanderbilt. And I'm sure Clark Lee, probably would say it privately. I don't know if he'll say it publicly, but I think Jerry Kill's almost a co-head coach over there if you want to get right down to it. And this is a good football man, not a glamour guy, not a guy that's ever, been recognized, I think, the way he should nationally. But he is a really good football coach. He was at New Mexico State and brought about half those guys with him when he came to Vanderbilt, including that quarterback. And again, as we said, and as Ryan pointed out, that quarterback won at Auburn last year. So it's not like he's a stranger to big moments.
Jerry Kill, you described it well, and he may not fit the analogy perfectly here, but, you see Petrino as a coordinator, Chip Kelly as a coordinator, and those guys both had success as head coaches. Jerry Kill had success as a head coach. I wonder sometimes if coaches ascend to be a head coach, that they work on that, because back a few years ago, that's how you really got paid. Now you can really get paid as a coordinator, not as much, but, a couple $1 million to be a coordinator and not have all the stress of being a head coach. I think we sometimes end up with head coaches who would maybe rather not even be a head coach. I'm not saying those guys wouldn't and didn't want to be that at the time, but we're starting to see a trend of really good football coaches get to just coach football and not have to deal with all the other things. And when you start assembling staffs like that, that can be a really dynamic situation if the guy who is the head coach is just handling those duties, setting the culture of the organization, communicating with the team, and letting these really good coaches just coach ball.
Well, I think situations vary. I think, for example, at Arkansas, I think Pittman is that type. I think there are other coaches. For example, when Petrino was the head coach here, he was the coach. He was the football coach, period. And I think sometimes it works in those situations. I think it can work both ways. But I think the value, particularly in Vanderbilt's case, and having an old hand like Jerry Kill on their staff. Now, I think Clark Lee's a really good young coach. And you want to talk about somebody who's changed the culture? And I've always thought, I used to think this about Vanderbilt. I know it's hard to believe. There's a time in baseball when Vanderbilt was as bad as they are in football. They were always in last place. They finally committed some money, and all of a sudden they went to Omaha seemingly like 5 times in a row. Vanderbilt in the NIL era, with a rich alumni, they're already a private school. They don't have to disclose anything anyway. Vanderbilt could be good at football if they would invest the money. Clark Lee's a good coach, but I think the best hire in terms of assistants in the SEC, there have been 2 great hires, Pittman hiring Petrino and Lee hiring Kill.
Double D's in Bentonville. Double D, good morning.
Hey, I watched the Vandy, Alabama game, and they were talking about the coach from Vanderbilt, had decided to change the way he structured his program because of the NIL and transfer portal that, they used to spend all this time talking about philosophy and building culture. He says now all they do is just talk football because kids are going to be in and out so fast. Do you think that's going to be the future for coaches?
Well, I think it's both. You have to have a standard of this is the way we do things around here. And sometimes you have to be able to say this is not the way we do things around here. But for a good number of players, playing college football has become a transactional thing. And, maybe that affects some of the things we see on the field.
Chuck, it's National American Touch Tag Day.
Wow.
When's the last time you played a good game of tag?
It's been a while, but I can remember playing.
Also, National Fluffernutter Day.
I'm a little confused on that one. Could you explain that to us,
Let's go
Bart?
to the Situation Room. To Bart's credit, at least he's putting them in there, even if he doesn't agree with them.
Yeah.
A fluffernutter is a sandwich.
Say it again. A what?
A sandwich.
A sandwich.
Yeah.
What's
Sandwich.
in it?
A fluffernutter is a sandwich made with peanut butter and marshmallow cream.
Wow. And it's got its own day.
It's a sweet take on a BLT.
Yeah. With its own day. Is there a national BLT day?
I'm sure there
oh my
is,
gosh.
and there
You
should
think
be.
so?
There has to be.
7:45 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Can we just say, for all of you who get up early in the morning and you work so hard, man, we're glad you're here. We just really appreciate all the work you do to make Arkansas better.
You talking to me?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now more than ever, it's important to partner with a well-trained real estate professional, someone who understands all the ins and outs of the game and makes sense of all the things we read about in the real estate market every day. That's why I've partnered with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, from the very beginning. And that's why I recommend them to you. I remember the first time I bought a home. I didn't have any idea what was going on. They did, fortunately, and they guided me through the process. They listened. And perhaps that's the most important thing. You want someone on your side of the table who understands your needs and who listens. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're in the River Valley as well in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town. And you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013, with popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA. There's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
So you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We are live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, and thank God for Gail Rainwater. Gail, I've got my sister's wedding. She's approved one of the suits you picked out for me. Man, I really appreciate all you've done for me these last couple of years because I've been to like 40 some odd weddings.
Glad that she approved it. We always get you looking sharp. I know you get a lot of compliments on everything. We appreciate it.
When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you.
Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, where it's fun to look good.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath road-ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. If you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
And their family said they'd never amount to anything. The Chuck and Bo Show.
Should have put my dad on the air.
I was going to say how to go with folks in town for the
they got out of
weekend.
here. They got out of here.
They're going to be able to get home? Seriously,
Yeah.
with all the weather down
They're
there?
home just in time for the hurricane.
Just in time to get out?
Yeah, for the Cat 5 hurricane that's bearing down on Florida. Anybody know what the temperature is? I don't want to ask Siri. I don't want to start that again.
You really called
Bart looks at his Apple Watch and immediately says
47 degrees.
47
Wow.
in Northwest Arkansas in the great state of Arkansas today. 877-377-6963. Jamie from Van Buren wants to know if we've heard from that bleep Brian.
I'm
Has he
told.
called in yet this week. Now he ran away yesterday from the show. He ran
Fled.
off. He was
He
fight or
fled.
flight, and he fled. And then he immediately called in to the morning rush. And boy, they
hammer him.
They made a mockery out of him. Actually,
Really?
he made a mockery of himself. I mean, it's you can hear the fear. No, it's real though. And I think Ty pointed this out. You could hear the nervousness and the fear in his voice.
You think he's masking all that
He's
with his
scared.
bravado?
He's nervous.
That's Texas fans for you, though. Like that's who they are. That's who they are.
Give me more. Who are they?
Every Texas fan I know,
Tell me more.
and I have some, unfortunately, have some Texas graduates in my family, but they were scared to death to join the SEC because they thought they were the biggest deal in the Big 12, and they were, along with Oklahoma. And now you come into the SEC, and they're like, man, I don't know how we're going to do this. Like, are we built to survive? Like this is so different than the Big 12. Like every one of these teams is good. Every one of these teams can beat us. They're scared to death that they're going to lose. You know, they have this great team and this great season and this number one ranking, and they're going to come into the SEC and they're scared they're going to lose 3 games. They're terrified that what happened to Alabama is going to happen to them.
They know it's going to.
It's inevitable.
They do.
And
It's inevitable.
They've got the best coach they've had
Deep
since Matt Brown.
in their heart of hearts, they know it's going to happen to them. I mean, they're going to brag and talk like it could never happen to them, but they know it will. Hey, look, if Vanderbilt can beat Alabama, don't come in here and tell me about how you're going to run the table in this league. It's not going to happen.
Everybody's on borrowed time.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
I mean,
now look, you know, when Texas came in here before and Arkansas shoved them around, I give them credit. They've changed the way they've, put their roster together and assembled their team. But I want to see them get down to the nitty gritty. I want to see them go on the road, win some tough games.
by the way, somebody just texted in asking about the Netflix show. Ryan from Fayetteville said when's the Netflix show coming out? That'll be after the season.
They've been everywhere
on the SEC. They were on the Tennessee sideline. Netflix was filming on the Tennessee sideline.
They were with Arkansas the week
during
before.
the game.
They were with Arkansas the week before.
So when they show up, you lose.
I guess that's it.
Not really.
Hey, there's a lot of them. They were at the Catfish Hole the other night, and
that's right.
Between Netflix and Hogs Plus, and just the random fan with a camera, It was quite a night.
For those of you that were making plans to see Chuck at the Sam Pittman live show this Wednesday night,
not there this week.
Not doing it this week. Instead, we're gonna have other plans for Chuck on Wednesday. I'm not sure what they are yet, but
really?
Are you available? We need to make you available.
I don't know.
General public on Wednesday.
I'm always available.
It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
You know, for me, when it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's just one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas: Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. And they don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you every step of the way. So whether it's a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or maybe just treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
What's your Oaklawn? Is it hitting the slots for fun and high fives? Or having a round at Silk's Bar and Grill before the action? Play your way at Oaklawn's 24/7 non-smoking casino. With 1,500 slot machines, live roulette, craps, and blackjack, a sports book where you can watch and wager on your favorite games, and live entertainment at Pop's Lounge, you'll never run out of fun. It's time for more winning and more excitement at Oaklawn. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
Good morning, Smack Daddy. What's happening?
What's up, Ball Brotherhood?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites: a juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon in the middle to upper 70s. Nice and clear tonight. Overnight low in the middle to upper 40s. Wednesday, sunshine, upper 70s to low 80s. And then Thursday, we should see sunny skies. A high right around 80 to 85 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan was my mortgage lender here. And Ethan, between you and Emily, over 2 decades.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of experience here to help you get closed on a home really quick. We offer custom financing available through VA, FHA, RD, and conventional loans. First Financial Mortgage has a great history of lending in the area. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So you've got a favorite football team. Your painting team at the paint store in Van Buren gets you a solid primer, the perfect color, and a durable defense. That is what you want, right? Our team of Richards Paint and expertise always win for you. Whether contractor or do-it-yourself, we have the best team. The paint store in Van Buren. Go Hogs!
From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Are you sure this is legal?
I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based grams.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Does that really help you on
Yes.
different colors? Or is that one of those things where you just get carried away with your project and it takes you back to like your Clarksville high
I
school
do
days?
enjoy coloring.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie
right.
about that. I'm sure you remember. I'm a stickler for staying between the lines.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it.
A show of record for Razorback fans.
Ready to roll right now, Bo.
Can you believe we're doing this? Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Make another excuse for this jackwater.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kurt Realtors, the Griffin Company. Passcode, Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Flight by Yingling and Fayetteville Auto Park. And now, Chuck and Bo.
Talking trash to Texas never gets old. I mean, it just never gets old. I knew that we would. I knew we'd call Brian out. I knew he couldn't stay away. Brian, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Welcome to the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah, dude. How are y'all doing?
Well, hey, dude.
On the way.
Hey, dude.
Hey,
Doing
dude.
great, man.
Hey, man.
Just to clear the air. I ain't scared.
You sure sounded like it yesterday. You ran
I'm
off.
not worried.
When Ty Richardson calls you out, you must really sound scared, man.
Well, you know what? Ty's also the idiot that said Arch Manning wasn't a good quarterback. But, you know, Ty does what he says doesn't mean much. I don't know that he knows.
Well, I mean, you may or may not be right about that, but he was right about you sounding scared. I'll tell you that.
You did sound
You
scared,
sounded-
Brian.
and
I'm
you
not
ran-
going to lie
and
to
you
you.
did run off.
I think you pegged it.
Okay. Anyway, I'll say this. Texas will still kick the crap out of Arkansas. Texas has more talent than Arkansas will ever have. You know, everybody talks about, what has Texas done lately?
Hey Brian, when has Texas
Wait.
No, you wait. When has Texas not had more talent than Arkansas?
National team.
When has Texas?
Never been an elite team. They never will be.
Brian, let's talk about Texas. Let's talk about Texas. When have they not had more talent? Like, name a time that Texas had less talent than Arkansas.
When I had that sorry-ass coach by the name of Charlie Strong, an Arkansas native, was the worst coach in Texas history came from Arkansas.
Steve Sarkisian lost to Arkansas.
Steve Sarkisian lost with a bunch of deadbeat, worthless players, kind of like.
So they weren't the more talented team when they came into Arkansas and lost. Arkansas was the more talented team.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, because you just told me that Texas, that Arkansas will never have as much talent as Texas, and now you're saying, Brian, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that Texas will always have more talent, and then tell me the last time they lost to Arkansas, the Hogs had more talent. Which is it?
You know what? Sarkisian is 10 times.
But it's like you can't address one argument because you can't have a winning argument.
How about your fat Pittman?
Now we're going there.
with a fat joke.
And Bo, you're bald and short. You walk funny. Yeah, what's that got to do with anything? It's like yesterday. You wanted to talk about Vanderbilt.
Arkansas football.
You don't want it like Brian, for real. Let's be.
Fans are stupid. They think Arkansas is a good team. They're not an elite team.
Let's be for real.
They're not going to win the SEC.
Let's be for real,
They're not
Brian.
gonna be in the playoffs. You're going to the toilet bowl.
Brian, how do you look at yourself in the mirror? How do you look at yourself in the mirror? What do you say when you look at yourself in the mirror? You say, I'm a fraud. I'm a complete fraud. Say it out loud. Say it. I'm a fraud. Everything I'd say is fraudulent. I'm a fraud. I'm a complete flipping fraud. And you ran away again. That is some Texas weak sauce.
Wow. That escalated quickly.
That really
He's a
got out of
fraud.
hand.
He's a complete fraud.
That's Texas fans, though. That's exactly what I was explaining. That's what they are. They are frauds.
Mark's fired up.
Wow.
They're frauds. Look, I get tired. I have to put up with this stuff, and I get so tired.
Let it out.
I get so tired of Texas fans beating their chest and thinking they're God's gift to mankind, and they're not. Like, when's the last time Texas won anything in a major sport?
Vince Young.
Okay, cool, good for them.
And then
how long ago was that?
That was 2005.
It was before he won at TGI Fridays.
Okay, all right.
I mean, congratulations, Texas.
That was
You're
another
like
story.
you're like a Big Ten team, because until Michigan won the national title last year, the Big Ten hadn't won anything since Michigan State won a national basketball title in 1999. You've been irrelevant for a long time, and I'm tired of all these Texas fans coming out of the woodwork thinking that they are God's gift to college football.
They've always been this way.
I know they're tea sippers. I know they're just so tiring. They're exhausting.
Well, it's on display. Like I gave Brian the opportunity to not be a fraud, and he just doubled down on it.
Do you think Brian's mom said breakfast is ready and that's why he left? I mean, really, do you think that's what happened? Because I kind of thought that yesterday when he abruptly left. I thought, well, his mom must have just said breakfast is ready. So I don't know.
I think you're onto something.
You
there.
guys,
yeah,
you guys were good there.
The bacon's ready.
Hey, I'm just listening to you guys thinking, man, I'm getting paid right now. This is awesome. I mean, these guys are just going on and
What
on.
do you think she makes Brian for breakfast?
I don't know. Maybe some oatmeal.
Some Eggo waffles.
I don't know.
Throw them in the toaster oven.
Yeah. Some Eggo waffles out of the toaster oven.
Oh,
or maybe just straight out of the toaster. No toaster oven, just straight toaster.
From an Alabama or from a Texas fan to an Alabama fan, this is Legend on the
it really
SEC
is.
Network
Let's do
yesterday, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
You better wake the hell up and realize where you at, because we don't play that down here, brother. You might get away with that in Washington, but down here in Alabama, we don't play that. We'll send a U-Haul to your ass if you lose to South Carolina. You better stop worrying about last week's game and get your ass focused on the game coming up at Alabama. The honeymoon's over. Wake the hell up. You know what KWB was talking last night, Paul? You know what this is equivalent to, brother? You know what this is equivalent to?
What's up?
This is equivalent to coming home and finding your wife in bed with the neighbor. This is what this is equivalent to, Paul. And I'll say this for this. Me and K-Dub both agree. You could never trust her again. You might stay with her for the kid's sake, but you could never trust the woman again. And the same thing's true with Coach DeBoer. You can win a natty. We can't trust your ass now. You just proved that you can beat the best and lose to the worst in a 2-week friggin' period. You don't lose to Vanderbilt. That's the ugliest little sister on the block. You don't lose to Vanderbilt. You just don't friggin' do it, dude. And let me say this about Malachi Moore. I wish you'd have kicked it through the upright. I got your back, Malachi. Everybody putting you down. That's a shame. At least somebody's got some fire. At least somebody got upset about it. I didn't see much fire out there. I didn't see much folks getting upset. At least, Malachi, I wish you'd have kicked it up in the damn coach's booth and knock our sorry-ass defensive coordinator out. That's what I wish he had done. What the hell are you doing, Womack? 67 points in 6 quarters, dude. I ain't seen a cornerback blitz. I ain't seen a safety blitz. We just let this little guy, this little 5'8" Johnny Manziel, sit back in the pocket and make a fool out of Alabama. 17 friggin' plays, dude. 17 friggin' play drive. 40 friggin' points. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Somebody get me Pete Golden on the phone. See if we can get Pete Golden's ass back down here. Because your ass sorry than Pete Golden's, dude. You little 4-2-5 defense. What the hell is that? A swarm defense. The only thing swarming is the opponent celebrating in the damn end zone. Put some pressure on somebody. Send a quarterback blitz after that little quarterback. Send a linebacker after him. You just sat there all day and got abused by Vandy. By friggin' Vandy, dude. It is friggin' pathetic. We are Alabama. We don't lose to Vandy. Understand, Coach DeBoer. Wake the hell up. We don't lose to Vandy. Strike friggin' one. The honeymoon's over, and we need some damn marriage counseling. Legend has left the damn building.
You got a light. Smoking a cigarette after that.
That's funny.
Paul, I'm in sports hell, brother.
Oh,
I'm in sports.
That's something.
That is, hey,
There you go.
That's why we love college football,
That's the
baby.
#1 team in the country that lost.
When your whole identity
he
as a
reacted.
state is wrapped up in your football team and things like that happen.
Entirely.
That's the kind of response you get.
Jason's in Clinton. Jason, you're on the Chuck and Bo show. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I was just going to say, Brian in Ozark, that dude has got to be the kind of guy that has a selfie of himself as his wallpaper.
Yeah.
In a Texas jersey. In a Texas jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got to say, man.
Yeah,
But
no, you called that right. That's an astute observation for sure. I think you pegged that. Mark and Rogers, you're on the Chuck and Bo show. Good morning.
Hey, guys, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, that's the thing about these Texas fans. They're so conceited. This guy, he's probably still sucking on his mama's hind tit still. The thing about it is they don't know which way their horns are faced, sideways, up or down, or, whatever. And to say that they've got more talent, like you said earlier, guys, they come into here and we beat them. So, he needs to get alive, get off his pacifier, and let his mama send him on down the road. And that's all I've got to say.
Yeah, well, then he wouldn't have any breakfast. 8:13. It's the Chuck and Bo show. Good morning.
Chuck, I believe this is all your fault.
Yeah.
I believe
Thank you.
so.
All right, thank you. And it's because he doesn't have YouTube TV for starters.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
This is Ricky Young with Mr. Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes, vegetable-related rock for a healthier lifestyle. When we have any problem at all, we call 782-8940.
It's a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based grams.
He means the website, which is shop on Razorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm a diehard Cowboy, and I'm with you 100%. But predicting the Super Bowl,
I'm there.
Fan, you know,
I'm there.
I believe in curses.
Cowboy fans,
But I do
Arkansas
believe
fans, all the feels of Cowboys are going to Cowboy again.
Nah.
Arkansas going to Arkansas again.
This is the year.
Sure is.
Yeah, well, I mean, they beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and I heard all these people Sunday saying, "Oh, the Steelers are going to beat them. Steelers are going to beat them. Steel curtain, all this stuff." And
Steel curtain.
Yeah.
Well,
do they still say?
Hey, look,
steel curtain? in
I'm
Pittsburgh?
happy the Cowboys won, but the Chiefs are still America's team right now. 26-13 victory last night.
They're young America's team.
I mean,
they're young.
They are America's team.
I mean, and for the young and the vibrant,
And you acknowledged earlier, Andy Reid's the best coach in the NFL.
I think he is, and I've thought that for a while, not just since he drafted Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a great coach. Now, look, having Patrick Mahomes makes you look really good, but he was good at Philly, good football guy. I think, he's a guy players like playing for.
Even if you're not a Chiefs fan, can you enjoy watching the Chiefs play?
Nah.
Watch them play offense.
Nah.
Watch them on the offensive side of the ball. Isn't it fun?
Not particularly.
Yeah.
Why not Joe Burrow? Why not? Why not Cincinnati Bengals? How's that going? By
What are
the way?
they, 1-4?
What happened? Sorry, bro.
I think the
what's with the frost on the hair, man? What's with the
point differential of 16 this year in the losses? 4 losses, average of 4 points a game.
Let's talk about the important stuff. What's with Joe Burrow's hair, man? What's with that frosty stuff he's got on the top? You think he's going to win ball games looking like that?
Well, I think he's always had a desire to be a member of NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys, and that's
the stuff NFL quarterbacks are made of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well.
I don't know.
Joe Burrow's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he had a great game. The problem is the Bengals defense is horrendous.
The problem is they're the Bengals.
No, that's
like Cincinnati's just a perennial losing team.
That's
right.
Not the Bengals haven't been that in a long time.
They haven't been what?
A perennial losing
What
team
have they been?
in a long time. They've been a consistent contender in the AFC North, and that even goes back to when Marvin Lewis was the head coach. I mean, Bengals went to the playoffs.
Are you old enough to remember the Sam Weish era?
Oh yeah,
it's like you guys worship
Boomer
at the altar of
Esiason.
Sam Weish. Is that guess what Bengals fans do?
No, we worship at the altar of Joe Burrow. That's what we do.
Hey, are you a Reds fan? You're a Reds fan?
Yeah, I got something for you.
Yeah.
Tito,
Terry Francona.
Yeah.
Here's Terry Francona. I love this. Is at his introductory press conference.
Big
as
fan of this hire.
The Reds' new manager. Let's listen in. Wow, that sounds terrible.
Well, that's some wonderful sound.
Wow. That's awful. Wow. You go to Cincinnati, things happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's War Memorial Stadium.
I was going to say, are we in Little
Rock?
we War Memorial Stadium. We got a
Stadium.
We've got a frequency.
I
think
it might be. I don't know what that is. But anyhow, he said he's talking about.
What did he say?
Well, he said people talk about having fun and all this, and he said fun for me is going out and trying to kick somebody's butt. That's fun. That's what we want. He's setting the culture right out.
Sure,
this trying to kick people's butts.
He
said the other word.
I got you.
He said ass.
He said the A word. Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but he said it.
Yeah. He's gonna kick it.
It's like it's like guys like when Houston that was the coach, he would say it. He'd
yeah, he'd say it like go a little bit octave lower.
Let's kick that. Yeah.
I know how it goes.
Yeah.
That's always a good word to fire up a booster club. You can go to a booster. Hey, we're going to kick their ass. Damn right, we're going to.
Hunter said that at the Justin Moore concert.
I know.
Tennessee. That works every time.
That is a go-to. I can remember one time we were on a Razorback Club trip, and Coach Petrino was here then, and Tim Horton went on the trip. And Tim Horton said, kick their ass. And I can remember looking over and thinking, I did not have Tim Horton as the first one to use the A word.
That's not on a bingo card.
On the road. But it's one of those phrases. You just throw it out there. Like, yeah.
Well, if you don't use it all the time, it's rather effective, right? In that moment. It's perfect. It comes out with some gusto.
Anytime you've got one of your, the big figures in your department or on your team and they're speaking to a public group, you always have to wonder, when are they going to say we're going to kick their ass? Because it's coming.
Speaking of Hunter, I mentioned him a second ago. The slobbering hog update. We got a slobbering hog update.
Slobber in, please. Everybody keeps putting this G on it. It's slobbering. Slobbering, apostrophe, hogs. It's not slobbering. It's slobbering.
Say it.
There's a certain way to say it. Slobbering hog.
Slobbering hog.
Slobbering hog.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
The slobbering hog update with no G.
That's right.
They need 100 G's to make it happen.
So they've got 900,000 total.
No, some people are walking around saying things like it's going to happen anyhow, and this is all a ruse, and they're exactly right.
Well, here's what people ought to be focusing on.
They're exactly right.
People have clamored for this for decades.
He's having fun with it.
So have a little fun with it. And the bottom line is slobbering hogs coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the deal.
And raising awareness for NIL.
And
we also have an NIL update. So that the judge, we were talking about rev share.
That's
it looks
a big
like
deal.
The judge is going to, she's given early indications that she's going to rule in favor of the schools being able to pay the players directly, and they're going to have a cap to it. So it's not, it's not going to be antitrust. They're going to, I don't know exactly how they're doing it legally, but there's supposed to be a cap that's expected to start at slightly more than $20 million per school and increase on an annual basis. Now, you'll still have name, image, and likeness opportunities above and beyond that. But again, while that does create some disparity, and the haves could potentially remain the haves with more money, you still at least have this $20 million purse to draw from, and you're not starting from zero.
All I know is it's a great time to be a college football player. I mean, it is a great time to be a college football player. Are you kidding me?
It is.
I mean, you're talking about $23 million. And, I mean, you're going to be managing, Fortune 500 payroll right there. I mean, that's a
well, not to get all off on this and in the weeds, but it's it creates so many problems. I'm not just talking about raising the money. I'm talking about you take a young man, you put him in this situation. Is he really ready for this situation? And I know what people you can't determine that. I understand that, but for years, 80% or more of NFL players got that big contract, and they were bankrupt within 2 or 3 years. I mean, you can go look at the data. There's been a lot written about this over the years. And I think that education and the things that have gone into the Players Association and the help on how to manage your money and all these things have really hopefully helped with that. Because nobody likes to see that. I mean, I don't like to see anybody have success, and then I like to see everybody succeed. Like when especially if they failed, you want them to be able to figure it out. I mean, what else are we rooting for in life? I mean, you want other people to do well, and in this case, I just hope that we don't end up with a bunch of situations where guys end up with a bunch of family members and friends and all this pressure, and they're taking all the money, and it just becomes a lot to deal with, that I wonder if they're in some cases are equipped, and probably a lot of cases, are you equipped at 18, 19, 20 years old? If you didn't grow up in a family where you're being taught these kinds of things and how to manage money and if you've never had that, and now all of a sudden you have it, what does that do to you? And then how does that affect the rest of your life? I mean, that's just real stuff there.
It's already happening. It's already happening on teams. And it is one of the things that makes keeping the team together very, very difficult. You've got, in many instances, the entire family's living off that player's NIL. In some instances, the player's family even moves to where the player is, and they all live together. That's happening all over the country right now because these families did not have money. And all of a sudden, there's a breadwinner. And we are forcing grown-up problems on kids who are not equipped to handle grown-up problems. Some of these guys are the de facto breadwinners in their families now. And I don't know that that's exactly the way, the ideal system should be set up. There's enormous pressure now. And just as in professional sports, and I've always believed this happens, you see teams that aren't as good as other teams sometimes just stomp them. It's kind of a one-off. And I always wonder what's going on that you didn't see that week? What's going on with the quarterback that week? What's going on with the wide receiver that week? What's going on off the field? What kind of pressure are these guys operating under as they prepare to play the game? That's going on in college football right now. It's a shame. And I don't know any way around it. When we had J.R. Carroll on, he talked about it from a tax perspective that, the families in some cases are spending all the money, but the kid's the one at the end of the year that's got to pay the taxes. Mm-hmm. That is one of the things that I think is going on. But more than anything, for a lot of these kids, they have grown-up problems now. Money brings grown-up issues. Sometimes it's problems, but it always brings grown-up issues. And I'm not sure that this is really the way that it ought to be, but I'm not naive. We're not going back. I mean, we're
No.
not going back on this.
No.
The idea that you're going to turn back the clock on college football and make it the way it once was, you can forget that. There's absolutely zero chance of that happening.
Mike is in Goshen. Mike, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chuck and Bo.
Hey, Mike.
It's a great day to be a Chiefs and a Royals fan.
I guess so, man.
And a Razorback fan. The only bad thing about the whole thing is the Chiefs and the Razorbacks got a bye week.
Yeah, I know. They can't keep playing right now.
May work out with getting healthy.
Hey, any updates? I might have missed it, but on Taylor Green's.
Not anything yet. They practice today, tomorrow, and Thursday this week, and I don't know yet when Coach Pittman is going to, or if Coach Pittman is going to have a media session. I'm assuming at some point this week he might. Generally speaking, in fact, I would say probably 100% of the time, when you get in a situation like this, it's going to be the head coach that's either going to make some sort of statement about it or is not. And nobody else is going to volunteer anything. What we have so far is what Coach Pittman said after the game on Saturday night, that it did not appear to be terribly serious, but they'd know more as they got through the week. I'm sure they'll find out more today.
Well, I think we're going to have Coach Pittman on the show later this week.
Right.
So we can talk to him about it. The other thing is, in the event that Talon can't play, you have extra time to get Singleton ready.
No doubt about it.
Which is helpful.
Well, and here's the thing about Singleton. There's a reason Green's the starter. The thing that I was encouraged about by Singleton was after, a couple of plays there where he had to get his feet underneath him, so to speak, I thought he played with a lot of poise. And I thought Petrino's play calling, if you want to use that term, I thought it was brilliant. I thought that final drive, they did everything that Malachi can do, and they eliminated all the things he can't. And that's what you have to do. You have to coach the player that you have out there. And
the tough part
I think that's a good sign.
The tough part about coming into a game like that, you didn't necessarily prepare that way already.
Right. No.
So if you know you're not going to have them, then you're building more around what his strengths are.
Right.
And that's what great coaches do.
Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Let me talk about them before we go to the break. Actually, I want to talk to you about Lisa Elmore. If you're in Fort Smith, you may in fact know who Lisa Elmore is. She's been selling real estate alongside her husband, Doug, since 2013. And these are routinely some of the top tier agents in Fort Smith and the River Valley. They're part of the Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company team. You're talking about their office in Fort Smith. Lisa's one of the big reasons it's one of the top offices in the company, one of the top offices in America. And again, you look at some of these recommendations. Lisa and Doug have been our realtors twice. When somebody's your realtor twice, it means they did a great job the first time, or you wouldn't be going back. I think that's probably the best thing that someone could say about them, is they've been my representative on multiple occasions. Those are the type of relationships you build at a place like Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They're in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington and Benton counties. Fort Smith, you just heard us talking about their office. They've got that office in Branson that services North Central Arkansas. And you can check out their homes at WeichertGriffin.com, and they've been turning houses into homes since 1978.
It's the Chuck and Bo Show, 877-377-6963. Don't forget, if you miss anything here, you can check us out, Chuck and Bo Show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We're also streaming on hitthatline.com. Hit That Line Now, the app. We're back in a minute. It's 8:33. Good morning.
When they do that, they can hear our off-air conversations. And I always want to know whether or not anybody can hear us.
We know how you are off air. It's something to be aware
of that.
Yeah, it's something to be aware of.
I know.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Man, I've got some good news. Sweatinum Cosmetic is not just for females. Turns out us guys want to look and feel good too. Why be tired, lethargic, and overweight when we don't have to be? Sure, diet and exercise matter, but there can also be a lot more going on. For example, low testosterone is a real thing among many adult males, not just the old guys. I've heard about the weight loss shots and the low T ads before, and I've been skeptical. But then I stopped by my friend's office, Dr. Jeff Sweatinum. He showed me around that first-class facility and said, here's what we're doing for for guys. It's called the Sweat No Edge. You make an appointment, get a free evaluation covering 4 potential issues: hormones, weight loss, hair loss, and skin. Find out where you are and decide if treatment is right for you. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com, SweatnumCosmetic.com, and click on the Sweatnum Edge, or call 479-966-4174 and tell them you heard about the Sweatnum Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
Touchdown, Arkansas! We fought back. We took a punch, and we answered back. He's going to go! Johnson's at midfield, and there he goes! 98 yards. Keith, I saw it, but I'm not sure I believe it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and HitThatLine.com.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're at the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets.
Sideline passes.
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel, like hats and pants.
Yeah, did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cargo and white. We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time. By the way, I did some research.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baum-Walker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based grams.
He means the website, which is shop on Razorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's Ty Richardson live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. I'm here with my friend Gail Rainwater. One of the many things you guys offer is tuxedo rental.
Yes, we do a great business of renting for weddings and proms. What sets us apart from most other places that rent clothing, you get to try it on. You come in, we measure you, try it on immediately. And the reason for that is we carry everything in stock. You get to check the fit immediately. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, where it's fun to look good.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I got two things I want to talk about real quick, and I'll get out of your hair.
We don't have any hair, Sterling. Another great line. Thank you.
That's a good pun there. Nicely played, Sterling.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Let's go. Bo's getting fired up.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm looking forward to this Ole Miss LSU
I am
game
too. I'm
on
going to watch it Saturday
in
night.
Death Valley. We got to get some Dan Bourne on this week, Bart. The pantheon of concrete and steel. Soon the sun will set in the western sky, and it'll be Saturday night.
Dan Bourne.
Saturday night.
I said Dan Bourne.
Yeah.
You can say Dan Bourne if you're Cajun.
Well, Bart.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to
say it right.
Yeah. Either way.
Jordan Hare.
Yeah, Jordan Hare. That's exactly right.
Slobbering hog.
Slobbering hog. That's right. That's right.
We got a whole new language in here. We got our own Babel channel.
Hey, I'll tell you this, Brian. You want to know why Brian's worried and why he ran off earlier, and why Texas fans are just going nuts.
Why he's had a bad few days since Arkansas beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he knows that the Red River game is this week, and he knows what tends to happen in that game, and he's scared to death that Texas is going to lose to Oklahoma, and it's a very real possibility.
That's the hardest game to predict. That's one of the hardest rivalry games to predict.
Bart is 11-3.
I know he is.
And locks this year. Now, there's a lot to
That's
get into
almost
there
locked.
because you can't have any losses if it's a lock. But on predictions, Bart's 11-3. We might remove the lock.
Why don't we just call him like I don't know, Bart's bets?
Well,
I mean, you're 11-3. That's that's a nice record.
You're making free money for people all over the state.
I'm trying to.
They're going
I'm trying to help the
Oaklawn
people.
Sports
Bart
app and
picks
boom,
them,
boom,
you
boom,
win
Bart.
them.
That's
Right here. That's the way it
I
works.
make picks, you make money.
Wow.
Ah,
There you
hey,
go. That's
and
a
Randy,
catchy
you and Double
line.
R.
That's a catchy line.
You and Double R.
So who you got?
Yeah, so
Texas
what do
or
you-
Oklahoma?
what are you thinking about that game?
I mean, I would lean Oklahoma. I think you always lean to the underdog.
What's
in that
the
game.
spread? What's the spread?
Texas is a 14.5-point favorite.
Oh, that's a cover situation.
Yeah, I
that's
don't
a
know.
cover situation for Boomer.
I might
And-
go Boomer sooner on that.
I'm looking at the history of the game and the number of times just in recent memory where the underdog or the lower ranked team or the unranked team has ended up winning that game outright is not insignificant.
I don't know why this came to mind, but I look at Brent Venables and I go, man, that guy's serious about his health. Like he works out. Holly Rowe had a video of him like running stadiums the Friday before a
don't think
game
about
they had.
that.
And I just wondered to myself, could he physically eat a turkey leg at the fair?
A fried one?
Yeah, at the food they have at the fair. They got a fried Snickers bar. Like some of the food they have at that fair, the state fair, is I don't know if Brent Venables' body could actually ingest it.
They invent foods for state
Oh,
fairs.
yeah.
And it always involves some sort of breading. It always involves being fried, and it always involves being thrown in a deep fryer.
I took my parents to the Catfish Hole.
Yeah.
And the grilled chicken, just the grilled chicken,
It is good.
is sneaky good.
Get a Cajun. Get the Cajun rub.
I got
on there.
Hawaiian.
Okay.
Because I'm,
Okay, well, you're a
little
tropical guy.
Fun fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Bo's a tropical guy.
Listen, bro.
Tropical guy.
Let me tell you something, bro, about you and your Cajun stuff. All right. Have a pineapple.
I'm just saying.
Have a pineapple on top of a little
Cajun stuff's
teriyaki
really
glaze,
good.
and you see what it does. You're the same guy that doesn't understand that a little bit of honey on some pepperoni pizza can go a long
No,
way.
I don't understand that. You're right. I don't. Mr. Pineapple.
It
on
is
your
also the great
pineapple
time to tell you
Canadian bacon
that it's-
pizza man.
Where's the real men of genius? We need that. National Fluffer Mutter Day. Great time to remind you of that. Peanut butter and what?
Fluffer.
Marshmallow cream.
That's what
Marshmallow
Brian's having
Same
today.
thing.
That sounds like a Brian sandwich. That sounds like a Texas tea kind of thing. It's also National Hero Day. Bart, who's your hero?
Man, my parents.
Oh yeah, there we go.
My parents.
Okay, we got to move on before we all cry.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
man,
it's getting
Don't go around the room on
That's a
that
bad.
one,
That's
man.
bad. Yeah. Let's
You're-
not.
That's the show coming to a screeching halt.
That's the beeping noise they play at Razorback Stadium when the other
right.
team has
Yeah,
a penalty.
That's right.
Yeah. 877-377-6963. Let me tell you about Blakeman's. They know how to celebrate life's moments, their milestones, and they can help you do it as well. Just like the Razorbacks were celebrating on Saturday night. You can go to Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers. They are the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Whether it's on the field or the jewelry you wear, they're going to help you out. From stunning engagement rings to gifts that celebrate all of life's milestones, Blakeman's is proud to be part of your Razorback journey. Again, find them in Rogers. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry is where your search ends and your story begins. It's 8:44. Good morning.
You never know what just happened to him that day. He could have accidentally dialed up an ED hotline while trying to call one of his hookers.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
Being a Razorback fan isn't just about the game. It's about the community, the tradition, and the moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks, we understand the importance of those moments. That's why we offer a selection of fine jewelry that goes beyond the ordinary, just like our hogs. Visit Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers, where you'll find the perfect piece to celebrate your Razorback spirit and the special moments in your life. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. PG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmer.
And it's a great time to be a Razorback.
Embrace the hole! Whether it's a touchdown, a slam dunk, or a grand slam.
Big Susie, they were doing all the stuff. I went in there to get something to eat, and they're cheering. I'm like, what is going on here? We're here with the excitement and insight you crave.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now,
It's the Razorback Daily from the team at Sport and Store.
That might be our best episode ever.
Available wherever you listen to your podcast each morning.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did I hear my broadcast partner talking about somebody slipping in his DM?
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring lie-angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name-brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath road-ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Are you doing
Yeah,
give
that's
him a fist
weird.
bump and raise your fingers
They just
up?
kind of look
know,
at you
some
like, hey,
big-
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're a dude.
He's my bro.
Bro. Chuck told me,
Bro,
don't
dude.
call me bro.
Y'all need some help.
I said, we were having some discussion off the air with it, and I said, bro, don't call me bro. Do not call me bro.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Well, if you're looking for ways to spend your free time while supposedly working, you know, instead of scrolling through TikTok or Instagram Reels, or like, you hear this, Chuck? This is what,
yeah.
Hey, that's a reminder the show's almost over. You could actually start looking at potential bowl destinations and where you'd like to go.
I did that last night.
Yeah, what'd you come up with? Where do you
Well,
wanna go?
I did some scrolling. You know, I always compare it with basketball dates. A lot of the games are on New Year's Eve. I think Tampa and the Texas Bowl's an afternoon game, for example, this year. The Liberty Bowl's a night game this year, for example. I discovered all sorts of things I didn't know.
Well, you know what's going to be different? The playoff starts earlier.
That's
so
right.
you don't
Like the
have
20th.
this big gap between
right.
the conference championship games and then the playoff not coming till the end of the year. So you've got these playoff games, and then the playoff's going to last further into January.
Mm-hmm.
So then you got to move bowl games around to accommodate that, so you're not playing at the same time.
Right. And there are, you know, there are possibilities out there. You know, the thing about it is, and this is what we just don't know yet, there's 12 teams in the playoff. I've seen projections with 4 SEC teams. I've seen others.
I don't see Oklahoma State in the projections anymore.
No, I haven't seen that either. But my point is that 7 and 5 might get you to a place 7 and 5 once didn't get you to. You know, like say a Jacksonville or a place where it's a little bit warmer. Tampa.
Even though they're about to take on apparently another hurricane.
Well, I mean, you think about this. If there are 4 teams in the playoff, then the 5th place team's going to the Citrus Bowl.
The Situation Room
here we
is
go.
at work.
All right.
Yeah. So if you take just the current AP Top 25 poll, 5 SEC teams would make the playoff. LSU would head to the Citrus Bowl, which means you have Texas A&M, Missouri, and Arkansas for the Outback, Vegas, and Gator Bowls.
Well, you have to figure right now A&M's got the inside track for whatever's deemed to be the best of the 3.
Hey.
Although I don't think A&M's out of the playoff.
Thank
picture.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not eliminate them.
I thought Connor Wegman coming back was a really big deal for them. Obviously, it was.
Well, I think they've got a pretty good defense, which really helps.
Yeah,
I mean,
and now they can score a little bit.
We don't talk enough about Arkansas's defense, by the way. I mean, it's natural.
He's going to be a Broyles Award nominee, probably
finalist. What was interesting about that Tennessee game is that was sort of an old school SEC power game. It was physical up front on both sides. You're trying to establish the run. You know, there's a lot of these SEC games now where just throwing it all over the place. But when you don't get to do that, if the other team's defensive line is really physical and you can't really run side to side.
You know, years ago, Keith Jackson used to talk about this, and Gino talks about it now. In the NFL, the magic number is 21. You got to get to 21
points.
You got to get to 21 points to have a chance to win. You look at like the Auburn game. You look at the A&M game. Now, obviously, you know, Tennessee was a little bit different in that respect, but you get to the last 3 games, that kind of is the magic number. And you look at the way that the league's kind of unfolding this year. When the good teams play the good teams, not every offense is clicking yet. And I don't know that any offense is going to click every time out based on what I've seen so far. But you've got to be prepared to win games in a variety of ways. And I'm encouraged by the fact that Arkansas has won these games, almost won against A&M would be the way to put it. But they've been competitive and gone 2-1 in these games that were defensive games where it was not a shootout. And you had to make stops, not make plays with the ball, but make stops when the other team has the ball. And that's what good teams do.
And Arkansas did that on Saturday.
Right.
We'll see if they can continue that. But just like the offense seems to be finding a bit of an identity and the offensive line seems to be getting better, which I think is a part of that, the defense seems to be doing the same thing. Some of these guys we didn't know much about, they're making names for themselves.
I think the linebacking core is a lot better than we thought it was going to be. You remember back in the summer, all anybody talked about was Pooh Paul leaving. I hadn't heard his name mentioned since the season started. We had Sorian from Georgia that not a lot of people knew about. Spence was going to be a sophomore. We didn't know about Stephen Dix. Yeah, I mean, he's been as good a player, as good a pickup as they've got.
Larry
Worth's playing well. Even Sanford, Bradley Shaw early in the year had a big play. So I just think a lot of things have come together on the defensive side, and that defensive line is not getting pushed around. They are holding up, and they're giving these other guys behind them room to roam around.
Chuck, we threw it out there today. The overriding topic of the day was, has Arkansas's win over Tennessee changed how you feel about this season? The poll results as we end the show, 78% of people say it has.
Okay.
There you go. 4-2 start.
Bring on LSU.
Tomorrow at 6, Chuck and Bo.
There's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state. And you can add Flyway Brewing to the list.